Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of What If Naruto was in the Bleach universe. If you guys enjoy this What If and want to see part 4 of it, comment down below and let me know. And also go ahead and check out other What Ifs in the channel. And check the description for the creator of this great fanfic and support them for making this fanfic. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content, it really means a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. They came for Rukia. They came for her and it was all his fault. He had to get in her way, he had to take her powers, and now she was in trouble because of it. He couldn't even stop the one sent to take her. That one guy was so fast he cut right through him before he even knew what happened. As if he weren't even there. He wasn't strong enough to save her, and now he was going to die. No pain. Damn it, am I really dead? I guess that's why I don't feel any pain. Now that I think about it, my body is starting to feel warmer, it's really warm. Ichigo opened his eyes to come face to face with a large mustachioed man in glasses. Oh, you are getting goosebumps, what a relief. Ichigo screamed in complete and utter horror and pushed against the man's face, as he was hovering over inside of a futon. Too close. Get out of my face. The man seemed to ignore Ichigo's discomfort in exchange for calling Urahara in the room. I know who you are with that sandals and hat guy, so why the hell are you in bed with me? He eventually shoved him off and sat up, clutching at his body in pain, which he found to be shirtless and bandaged. I am not dead. How? He asked himself before looking around. Wait, this isn't even my house. Where the hell am I? Well, Tess, I was right, you are awake. You shouldn't be moving around, Ichigo-san. Your injury isn't fully healed. Urahara said to him, a fan open, and in front of his face. If you keep moving around you can die. Ichigo watched him walk closer. So I guess this must be your house. Urahara snapped his fan shut suddenly. Correct. You saved me, Ichigo said in a dejected manner. Urahara pointed at himself in a faux offended fashion. What's with that tone? The way you are talking is like I did something wrong. Ichigo's attention suddenly snapped to something else, as he remembered someone else there at the scene of his defeat. Wait, Uryu. Tell me he's alive too, is he here? Urahara shook his head. He's already gone. He lost a lot of blood, but his injury wasn't vital. Even if I just left him lying there he wouldn't have died for another 2 days, so I just treated his injury on the spot. A smirk came to the strange man's face. Come to think of it, when he left he was worried about you. Ichigo scoffed, as he touched at all of the bandages on his body. You're right. It's true. Urahara said offhandedly. I even told him to rest here for a moment, and do you want to know what he said? Thank you for tending to me, however I am fine. Instead I believe you should treat Ichigo. The reason being, because right now the only one that can beat those bastards is not me. Please heal Ichigo, because the only one who can save Rukia is him. Ichigo remembered Rukia willingly going with them, through that strange portal back to her realm. Only me? What does he expect me to do? He snapped. Rukia's already back at the Soul Society, how can I follow her there? How the hell could I rescue her? There's no way. Urahara stayed silent, and let him get his pent-up frustrations out in one go, before he finally decided to speak. Do you really think that there's no other way to get to the Soul Society? He asked cryptically. Ichigo's head snapped in his direction immediately. There's a way. Tell me how. How do I do it? Holding up one finger that stopped him, Urahara began to explain. Of course I will tell you, but under one condition. Starting now, for 10 days, you are going to be learning how to properly fight with me. That didn't sit too well with Ichigo at all. You are telling me to fucking train. I don't have time for that. You don't know when Rukia is going to be executed. I should try getting there as fast as possible. Urahara sighed and slammed the tip of his cane onto Ichigo's forehead, driving him back down onto the bedding. The point I am trying to make to you here is that you will die if you go there as you are. There's no maybe, there's no doubt. You will be slaughtered. He said, deadly serious, getting a shiver out of Ichigo at his tone. I let you fight them the last time on purpose. I thought you would get the picture, if you fought them, and saw for yourself. With your current skill you will die the second they realize what's going on. You are weak. Stop being such a child, saying you are going in to rescue Rukia. Don't use other people as an excuse to go getting yourself killed. Ichigo saw the utter serious look in Urahara's eyes, and heard the edge in his voice when he stood up, letting Ichigo go. The Soul Society usually gives a month-long grace period maximum in a convict's execution. Same for Rukia-san. We will be taking 10 days, just to mess with you in particular. Ichigo's eye twitched at this goofball still trying to razz him while acting serious. It will take 7 days to open the door that will take you there, so after you arrive in the Soul Society, you still have 13 days. Plenty of time. Ichigo stayed silent for a long time before finally speaking up. Will I really get stronger in just 10 days? Of course. Urahara answered with a sly grin, as his bucket hat shaded his eyes. If you truly want to save Rukia, that is. A strong will is stronger than steel. If your determination is anything less than full bore, then don't even bother going. For 10 days can you seriously be determined to fight? and give it your all. Ichigo scratched his head. Well, if I don't do it, no one will. He gave Urahara a determined look. I guess I don't have a choice. Let's give it a try. Excellent. Urahara said, leaving the room. We will start tomorrow. I need to fix up some medicine, so that you don't drop dead in the middle of the training, but I do want you to go to school tomorrow as well. It's the last day after all. Not letting Ichigo ask him how he knew that, he immediately left the room and walked down the hall. So you are going to go ahead and send him? Yoroichi, in cat form, asked him once Urahara walked past her. You do know that the chances of him pulling this off are slim and none, don't you? Urahara grinned at the cat from behind his fan. What's the fun in life without taking a few chances every now and then? Besides, he will do fine with some polish, and we will do that once I get him his powers back. You're going to send those kids with him as well, aren't you? Yoroichi followed up, not missing a beat, the ones that showed signs of having powers as well. The more the merrier, the eccentric shop owner chirped. Yoroichi smirked, having finally gotten to the crux of what she wanted to talk about. Well, what if I said I felt like going as well? Go ahead. Urahara replied heartily. If you are feeling a little homesick, you might as well go on and head back for a bit, when it's going to be nutty for sure anyway. And I wanted to take someone with me, she added. At that, Urahara sort of deflated. I can't go back. You know that the exile won't let me get even close. Old man Yamamoto would burn me too crisp and lock me away if I showed back up around that place. Not you per se, she commented, getting his full attention. I found someone very interesting that I think the team would benefit from having. Benefit how? Urahara asked. Yoroichi gave him a grin with her sharp white teeth. Let's just say that he's my ringer, so to speak. The next day, Urahara's shop. Why did Yoroichi want me to come here? Naruto said to himself, as he stood out in front of the plain-looking shop. Hey mister, are you going to buy something? Or are you just going to stand outside looking stupid all day? Loitering is illegal, you know. A young boy with red hair said snottily from the porch of the store. Naruto gave the kid a dry look. I don't even know what this place sells, so I don't know yet. Is there someone named Yoroichi around here? This person might be in cat form, for the sake of reference, he said with a completely straight face. The girl, the boy's age, with black hair and a calm look about her, that had been sweeping the porch, looked up at him. Oh, I can go see if they're here, mister. Just wait for a moment. Naruto nodded and smiled at the girl. Thank you very much. Can I get your name, sweetheart? The girl started walking towards the door to the shop and turned to face him. My name is Urahara, sir, and this is Jinta. I will be back in a moment. Who are you, by the way, so that I can relay the message? Naruto grinned at her. Uzumaki Naruto, the immortal sage of toads, balance, and the shinobi arts. Urahara bowed to him quickly, and went inside to find someone to help him out, leaving Naruto and Jinta outside by themselves, the small boy glaring at him. Can I help you, kid? You don't look very tough. Or like a sage. Aren't sages old men or something? Jinta said to Naruto abruptly. Naruto grinned at him. Kid, I am older than you could possibly imagine. Do not get me started, but you do remind me of someone from a long time ago. And I am tougher than you, that's all that really matters right now. You think so, huh? Jinta said before pulling a large kanabo out of seemingly nowhere, and swinging it at Naruto. Jinta, home run. He shouted as he felt his attack connect. Jinta, why are you beating a log to death with your weapon? Jinta turned around to see Urahara standing in the doorway with Urahara and Yoroichi in cat form. What are you talking about? I hit some stupid blonde guy that kept saying he was a sage. Urahara grinned and pointed. Jinta followed his finger, and had his eyes bulge in disbelief, when he saw a log that had been smashed up on the ground. What? But where's the other guy? Naruto appeared outside of the shop's property with a grin on his face, and the next generation of suckers learns the value of the log. Substitution jutsu will never die. How did you do that? Jinta roared at him. And where did you get the log? Naruto walked back over to everyone else, clutching his chest in a vulnerable manner. The log comes from the heart. When you feel the pull, you just know what it is by instinct, and let the log take you to the sweet, sweet sanctuary of safety. He then smirked at Jinta. And I did it because I can, because I am awesome, because I am Uzumaki Naruto, and you'd better recognize that. Uzumaki Naruto? Urahara cut him off right there. Is that really your name? Naruto looked at him blankly and gave him a nod, prompting Urahara to scream like a girl and run back inside of the store. Naruto looked at everyone else outside who were just as confused as he was. After a few moments, Urahara came back outside. I need you to sign these. Make them out to Urahara Kisuke, he said, holding up a collection of books and a pen. Naruto grinned at him and started signing. Sweet, a fan. I don't get to talk to many of them, seeing as how my actual physical identity is a really well-kept secret. Here you go, stay cool Kisuke. Uzumaki Naruto, Dadabayo. Books? Jinta asked. What kind of books does a stupid-looking guy like that write? Urahara looked at Jinta, and opened his mouth, before realizing that Yoroichi and more importantly Urahara were still standing right there. I will tell you when you are older, and can properly enjoy. Just know that this is a great man that deserves your respect, and the respect of every red-blooded man alive. Oh. Naruto replied bashfully. As he finished signing, I am not that great, I am just carrying on a legacy. Urahara hugged his collection tight to his body like a child, before Tessai appeared and stashed the books for him, so that no one could take them and peruse through them. Coughing in his hand to bring the atmosphere back to normal. Now what can I do for you today in my humble establishment, Uzumaki-san? I asked him to come here, Kisuke. Yoruichi said, he's the one that I want to bring. Are you sure? Urahara said, looking at Naruto appraisingly, he's just a kid. No older than Ichigo. Yoruichi smirked, Naruto, if you would please start generating some of your yin chakra, for the sake of the conversation. How much? Naruto asked. I kind of don't want to bring any hollows down, or is that how this works? The amount that you use to keep pace with me should be more than enough to get the point across. The atmosphere was so full of Ichigo's own spiritual power. Kisuke probably couldn't get a good read on yours, back when you fought that Menos. If he had, he wouldn't be asking this question. Yoruichi replied smugly, as if keeping a secret that no one else around was privy to. Naruto shrugged, you're the boss, cat air whatever. He said before beginning to focus. The eyes of Jinta and Urahara immediately widened, once they felt the power exuding from Naruto. Sorry if it takes a while to get it all going. I am used to channeling all of my chakra. Splitting it is something I am not really used to yet, so bear with me, if you don't mind. I know this isn't much, but I will get the rest going. He doesn't think this is much, Urahara wondered, as he held his fan in front of his face. If that's the case, then he should have as much in his system as Ichigo does in theory, and he seems to be able to control it unlike him. That's all I need to see. Urahara replied, stopping Naruto from generating any more. Naruto stopped and looked at Urahara, but that wasn't nearly what I was using when me and Yoruichi started going faster. I can still do more. Urahara smirked and waved his fan. Yes, but I think that's all my helpers can take at the moment. He said, pointing at a panting Jinta and a shell-shocked Urahara. You kind of caught them off guard on that one. Sorry kids. Naruto apologized to the children. I didn't mean to surprise you like that. I am just used to using a lot of power to do well anything. It's kind of hard for me to gauge what's a little and a lot to others, or hold back in fighting, or anything really. Urahara turned to Yoruichi. Okay, he's in. You can take your boy toy to the Soul Society when I send Ichigo. Wait, hold on a second. Naruto cut in. I don't know what's going on, but what about the Ichigo guy, and what the hell is a Soul Society? One very long explanation later, Naruto sat inside of Urahara's shop around a table with the others. After giving him the crash course of things he needed to know about spirits, they caught him up on what was currently going on. So you are telling me that the Rukia chick is another Shinigami, and she was taken back to the Soul Society to be executed, just for giving Ichigo the power to save his family from a hollow in her stead. In addition to that, you are going to have the boy Wonder himself lead a team that he doesn't even know about, yet to go and get her back. Pretty much. Urahara replied, as Urahara walked in and set down tea for everyone. So are you in, or what? Naruto's eye twitched. You want me to go to the place where dead souls go, fight not just one, not just two, not even a baker's dozen, but an entire army's worth of Shini fucking Gami, an idea that I am still just getting used to, mind you, with a bunch of baby-faced brats. Most of which haven't the faintest idea of what it really means to be in a fight for their lives. Yes. Urahara and Yoruichi replied in unison. Naruto let out a deep breath to calm himself and lifted one hand. This is another one of those choices that isn't really a choice, is it? On one hand, if I go, chances are that I will be killed, and then killed again in a horrible and brutal fashion, because they are not going to just leave my soul to roam up there, after killing me only once. I will be on edge for however long we are there, and I will probably die trying to get everyone out in one piece once everything goes to hell, because I have a hero's complex that I have cultivated over a countless number of years of good deeds. He then lifted the other one, and began counterbalancing them. On the other hand, if I don't go, then they most certainly will die, since none of them have the faintest idea of how to infiltrate a home of the blind and deaf, let alone a military stronghold. I will feel guilty for the entire month, because of the story you told me about the Rukia girl, and will feel even guiltier that I let those poor kids die, and I will miss out on my chance to be one of the few living humans to have actually seen death itself firsthand, and come back to gloat about the tale. And? Urahara and Yoruichi asked excitedly. Naruto looked at both of his hands, and clenched one tightly. You ask as if I really had a choice. I'm in, and I hate you both for this. You both owe me money. I am a shinobi, not a charity case. Yoruichi blinked. You said you go around helping those that need it. Naruto scoffed. I do, but some things I can't do for free. I need to eat too. All of this awesome doesn't run off of kudos and thank yous. Yoruichi hopped into his lap, getting Naruto to pet her, but I am still not ready. What am I going to do? Well, you have 10 days until I open the gate for Ichigo to leave. Urahara stated helpfully. He has to get prepared to go himself. You can do the same. Naruto grumbled. I need to get battle experience against a Shinigami to whip my ass back into shape, and so that I know what to expect. You won't let me fight Ichigo, I am sure of that. Because you would tear him apart like a jackal on raw meat as he is now. Urahara said brightly, Yoruichi nodding her agreement. Exactly. Naruto said, no offense, but his moves are sluggish, and he telegraphs his strikes with that sword. But I could always keep sparring with Yoruichi, I guess. Sorry Naruto, no can do. She said, hopping out of his lap, leaving him in shock. You're already ready as far as I saw. And if what you told me is true, and I have some others to get ready. The kids that will be assisting Ichigo need guidance to learn to use their powers. So what the hell am I going to do? Naruto cried indignantly, fight with oxygen for a week and a half. Urahara grinned at Naruto in a manner that didn't bode well for him. If you are that desperate for a training partner, I have an idea for you. All it requires out of you is an open mind and unbreakable balls of steel. Yoruichi seems to have high belief in you, so why not? Naruto blinked at him before responding, those two things have categorized my entire life from day one. What do you want me to do? Urahara started writing something down. Nothing much, just go here and say this. Everything else will take care of itself. Naruto looked at what Urahara wrote down and grumbled, I sure am being sent on a lot of errands, aren't I? Are you sure this is going to help me? It seems like a waste of time. You won't be disappointed. Urahara replied, grinning behind his fan. Are you trying to kill my charge, Kisuke? Yoruichi asked, glaring at him somewhat. Urahara feigned hurt and turned away, so no one could see his grinning expression properly. Why Yoruichi, I am appalled. I would never do such a thing to any ally of yours. Naruto-san here is a friend, and I am a great fan of his. Everything I am doing is beneficial. He mumbled the next part to multiple parties. He felt a certain presence make its way nearby. Oh, Naruto, could you hide for a moment? Someone important is here. I will just leave. I want to see what this place you are making me go to is all about, and there's no time like the present. Naruto replied, catch you guys in 10 days I guess. He said before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Jinta palmed his face, stupid idiot, now I will have to sweep that up. Yoruichi looked at the trail Naruto left, I think I should leave as well. I have the others to prepare as well. She said before hopping out of the open window, talk to you soon Kisuke. Urahara stood up and went to the front door. Before opening it, welcome, how are your wounds? He asked. Ichigo stood in front of Urahara and opened his shirt to reveal a series of faint scars. Recovered. That's good. The bucket hat wearing man said earnestly, well shall we begin? Naruto stood out in front of a secluded warehouse, frowning as he didn't see, hear, or sense anything at all. This is a total red herring. What am I doing here? Pulling the card that Urahara had written his directions out on, and what he was to say once he arrived. My name is Uzumaki Naruto and I have come to kick some Shinigami reject ass. Please line up single file, and I promise it will be quick and exact. He looked at what he had just read strangely. What is this, an offer or a challenge? What did you just say, you dead son of a bitch? An angry voice roared before the door to the facility opened, revealing a short girl with blonde hair and stubby pigtails. She had on a red jogging suit and flip-flops. She had a pronounced fang sticking from the right side of her mouth, as she glared at Naruto hatefully. Who are you, and what made you want to come and commit suicide like this? Boy, look at this shit. It was too much for Naruto to take, beginning to break down in laughter. Did I just call out a pygmy for a fight or something? Is Urahara high? Why the hell did he send me here? What does he think I am going to get out of this? The door opened further to reveal a rather lively assortment of people, all giving Naruto a wary, rather hostile glance. His apprehension at the people staring him down got a smirk out of the first girl that had answered the girl. Naruto looked down at what Urahara had written down once more, and saw the words good luck, stay alive and a chibi drawing of Urahara grinning with a fan written down. When he heard the sound of steel sliding, he lowered the note and saw that they all had their swords drawn at him. Naruto began to sweat bullets, and read the last thing that Urahara told him to say on the note. I don't know what this means exactly, but no masks please. As his senses fully came back to him, a beaten and tattered Naruto lay down on the ground, inside of a sizable training area, set to look like a mountainous wasteland. His clothes were blood-soaked, and cut to near rags, and he was taking deep breaths. His eyes were swollen, but those along with his other numerous wounds were rapidly healing, something that his tormentors took advantage of regularly. 30 minutes to an hour of letting his carcass sit in the sun, depending on how beaten up he was, then they pick him back up, and kick his ass again. It was good at first. Fantastic fighting, especially the girl he called out at the start. Yeah, they kick each other's asses all over the place. It was good times. He fought her tooth and nail for a few hours, and then she switched out with one of the others. He liked her in particular though. She fought him for every step, even slapped the shit out of him with a sandal a few times. It was cool with him. He had nothing but energy to burn, and these guys were incredibly strong. Whenever one didn't feel like fighting, they would switch out, and he would keep fighting, getting a taste of new combat styles, and these guys had it all over the board on that front. No two fought alike. It was great. Bar none, it was the best training he had gotten in his entire life. But eventually everything wears down. And fighting them each back to back, him against a fresh one every time, were not a very good set of odds for him. However, they would not stop, and he wasn't about to be a punk and call timeout. No single person outlasted him, not even an entire group of 8 people during one stretch. He would outlast, and deal with at least 2, before having to take a rest. So he kept fighting, taking the short 1 to 10 minute reprieves in between battles, as precious lifeblood that kept him going. That was 3 days ago. He still had 7 left. And they were all fresh from repeated rest, and there was the big guy, with the pink hair, green suit, mustache, and gentle demeanor there to heal them right up, even when he actually did kick their asses. Too bad for simple rest and time to solve. No one was doing that shit for him, he was relying on good old me, myself, and I. A tall muscular man with silver hair, a purple tank top, green cargo pants, black combat boots, and orange fingerless gloves, looked down on Naruto, poking his body with his foot. "You still alive down there, Uzumaki?" Naruto groaned, and glared, as best he could at the man, enhanced by the Rinnegan, "I swear to Kami." And the original, the sage of the 6 paths himself. "I swear on my name is Uzumaki Naruto. I swear on my damn uber sexy whisker marks. I am going to kick all of your asses so hard. Your backsides will have permanent bulk court grip." He sat up painfully, and slowly stood to his feet, before swishing his mouth around, and spitting out a mouthful of blood. "You have had your time. Tag out already, I want someone else to kick my ass." He lifted his finger to point out his target. His finger drifted over to where the others were sitting, and stopped on one of them. "You." He pointed at a woman with green short hair, who wore a white bodysuit, and orange gloves, orange boots, and an orange scarf, to go with the goggles atop her head. She perked up brightly, when she noticed he was talking to her. "Cutie. You look way too bored over there, and that's a crime. Get in here." She smiled brightly, and jumped up from where she was sitting. The silver-haired man walked over to the resting area, rubbing his neck, as he held out his hand. "Looks like it's your turn, Mashiro. I swear, this guy is made of the toughest stuff in the world." The girl happily extended her own arm, and slapped palms with the man, physically tagging him out so to speak. "Finally can say. I've been waiting forever to fight Fishcake again. God damn it, that joke is thousands of years old. It means Maelstrom, damn it." Naruto roared in a tantrum from where he was, waiting to fight. "Now get your ass over here and fight me, before I puke again from overexertion. I haven't eaten in 3.5 fucking days, and if I stop, my stomach will notice." "Coming." Mashiro replied cheerfully, as she made her way over to Naruto. "Zanpakuto. Or no Zanpakuto. You haven't used it yet, why mess with a good thing?" he yelled, gesturing for her to come on. "Now bring it. Let's see if any of you can break the time record of putting me down this time. I haven't been beaten faster than 4 hours total, yet for all of you combined. I will put you down in 20 minutes. She yelled back, before disappearing in a burst of speed. "I am still using swift release, and you ain't as fast as Urahara," he said before doing the same thing himself. Naruto met her in a clash in the middle of the field, his fist colliding with the flat of her foot. The force of both attacks pushing each other away. "You do have one hell of a kick on you though, but I am glad to say that for the most part, my ninjutsu still works on you guys. Shinigami, beware my murder face," Naruto shouted, as he made hand seals, earth release, call of chains. Naruto slammed his hands into the ground, forcing 9 thick chains to emerge, and shoot out of the ground at Mashiro, in an attempt to capture, and bind her for Naruto's benefit. Mashiro, however, well, not as fast as Urahara was, to her credit still far, and beyond fast enough, to keep away from Naruto's chains, dodging them completely, and coming at Naruto head-on, while he was focused on keeping them active. The girl was petite and very unassuming at a first glance, but so far she had been keeping pace with Naruto, and even outclassing him at times, using pure hand-to-hand skill and her speed, not to mention the times when she kicked him felt like he was a baseball that had been drilled for a liner. "Shit," Naruto muttered, dropping the chains, and making more hand seals in a blur of fingers, and smashing his hands into the ground. Earth release, mud flow river. Because she had been making a beeline right for Naruto the entire time, as he hadn't moved, and she was so much faster than his jutsu, Mashiro was literally caught slipping, when she slipped on the ground underneath her, which had turned into a stream of mud, that was rapidly moving towards Naruto. "This is gross Fishcake," she said, as she found herself almost right on Naruto, who had his fist cocked back, to strike the helpless girl. Well, he thought she was helpless. She never got that memo. "Damn it, I can't see," Naruto shouted, as a large glob of mud hit him in the eyes. He jumped away to clear his eyes, and upon doing so saw Mashiro right in front of him. "Mashiro, drop kick," she shouted, before driving her feet right into Naruto's body, sending him flying through the air. He didn't know how high the ceiling was, and he didn't want to, thus he stopped himself in midair, and simply hung there. "Hey. That's right, I forgot you can do that too. That's good," she yelled to him, before taking off after him in the air, to continue combat. He had learned a very important lesson, here in this grueling little torture session, that he was going to use for sure once he found Urahara for revenge. His ninjutsu still worked on Shinigami. At first he didn't know what the deal was with those hollows he fought, but against a Shinigami if he could see them, and he was aware of them spiritually, he could hit them with an attack, just as clear as if he were punching them. Good to know. It made the getting kicked around thing far more tolerable, and the look on their faces, when he started throwing his ninjutsu around, priceless. They called it Kido, especially with the incantation, but he was quick to correct them, that the two were similar, but not the same, nor did he need to call out the name of the attacks, that he knew better than others. From that point forward all bets had been off, and any inkling any of them had on holding back died right there, as they went hit for hit. Kido versus ninjutsu. He had bitched about his jutsu not really having effect on a hollow. He had tried to electrocute when he first arrived in town, and they said they had no clue as to why it didn't work, because it sure hurt them badly enough. After the third time of getting his bell rung by Kensei, the realization hit him. Elemental advantages still exist, just in a more magnified manner, because all hollows were spirits. He had simply gotten bad luck on both sides of the draw, so to speak. Against the first one he tried a ninjutsu on. They were comprised of Reishi spirit particles in its rawest, most unrefined form, that could still take corporeal shape, like a biju, but not nearly as strong, or able to interact with the environment at large, not made of the earthly things that people and other things were made of, that had to share the same genetic makeup. Hollows didn't have that rule to follow, so hollows and their elemental affinities were more in tune than an untrained humans would be naturally. Hence why some could fly faster than others, that is wind. Why some were tougher than others, that is earth. Why some had violently effective natural defenses, or could pierce through almost anything, which is lightning. Why some were extremely elusive and hard to get a hold of, that is water. And why some had body types that corresponded for attacks of incredible power, no matter how weak or unspectacular the hollow itself really was, which is fire. It wasn't the fact that part of chakra was physical that was the problem. The problem was that, if the attack he used was the hollow's element, the physical portion would be cancelled out entirely, leaving him with a jutsu that only had half of a kick to it, not enough to do damage to a hollow that shared the elements. How did he think of all of this? Which of his new acquaintances helped him? None of them, unless you counted the dogged fighting that got the blood pumping in his brain to allow him to think as help. However, time between fights added up, especially when you found yourself unable to move, so in their own rather sadistic way they did help. "I am going to knock you out, fishcake," Mashiro said happily, as she blocked one of Naruto's kicks with her own. "You all say that," Naruto said with a roll of the eyes. The two continued clashing all over the field hand to hand, as the others sat on the side and watched. "Man," a tall man with a weird star-shaped afro, a green jogging suit, and sunglasses said as he alternated between reading a manga and watching Naruto fight Mashiro. "Other than blacking out every few hours, he has been going non-stop. You have got to admit it's pretty impressive. And he took the whole revelation of a Visored thing pretty well too." The blonde man with a seeming permanent grin on his face and a newsboy cap smirked, as he watched the fight going on. "I think part of that had to do with Hiyori's foot being stuck in his windpipe during the explanation process, but I get your point, love." She sighed. "I am kind of sick of fighting him though. He is like a nuclear generator, he never fucking runs out of energy. Give him a little downtime, and he is right back up in your face. That's dangerous." "Shut up, Shinji, I am not through fighting him," the blonde girl Naruto had originally picked with on his arrival said, chomping at the bit to get back in there. "I haven't extracted my pound of flesh from his dumb ass yet." Mashiro kick. The sound of a solid blow rang out, prompting everyone to look up. "Heads up," Shinji yelled, grabbing Hiyori and holding her out in front of himself like a human shield, as Naruto hurtled through the air at him. "Incoming. Hachi, barrier now." The quick barrier flew up around them, as Naruto's body smacked off the side of it, and stuck to it back first like a bug on glass. "That was close," he commented before getting decked in the face by an angry blonde girl, that proceeded to stomp on his face repeatedly. "Oh," Naruto said to himself before he shook off the cobwebs, and glared back out at Mashiro, for the last time. "That's not an actual attack. You just shouted your own name and kicked the shit out of me. It actually has to do something special to count. It hit you, didn't it, swirly eyes? That should be special enough," she yelled back. Naruto mumbled out a reply, about how he wasn't even using Rinnegan this time under his breath, and looked back at the other Visoreds. "And you guys are lazy. You made Hachi throw up that barrier, just because you didn't want to move your asses. I am so pissed I am going to." He was cut off from his rant by blood jutting from his nose, and his body falling off of the barrier to the ground. "Yes. I'm the one that finished you this time, fishcake," Mashiro shouted proudly, as she made her way back over to the others and Naruto. "Didn't count," Naruto said weakly. "I just ran out of chakra. Just give me a few." He shut his eyes and blacked out. The long-haired blonde man in a black suit and a frilled white shirt looked Naruto over. "I don't think he is getting up this time." He whistled lowly. "What a marathon though." The woman in red glasses, a ponytail and a school uniform nodded. "I will say, love. 3 days with no real breaks in between. You have got to love that stamina. She stood up. Okay, Hachi can heal him, and we can let him rest up. I will check the bag he brought, and see if he brought any clothes. Shinji smirked. You just want to use that as an excuse to go through his stuff, and potentially see the guy naked when you change him, don't you, Lisa? Lisa didn't reply, as she went off to grab Naruto's stuff. Meanwhile, the large man Hachi moved over Naruto and erected a barrier around him. I am terribly sorry about that. The others haven't had any sort of activity like this in a long time, and you were a good target to vent some long-standing aggression. Stop apologizing, Hachi, Hiyori said, as she marched over to Naruto, who was beginning to gain consciousness. This dumbass came and called us out. He is just lucky he told us no mask beforehand and asked nicely. Love looked at Naruto and then to everyone else. How did he even know about that? Hachi deactivated the barrier. When Naruto stuck up his arm holding a piece of paper shakily, Hachi took it and read it before handing it to Shinji, who quickly understood. Oh, Urahara. Well, that explains it. He walked over to Naruto and kneeled down over the barrier that Hachi had made to heal his wounds. Okay, we told you that we are Visoreds, but do you know what that actually is? Naruto shook his head. No. Are you from the Gotei 13? Naruto shook his head weakly. I barely know what that is. What's a Visored? Shinji gave Naruto a serious look. A Visored is a Shinigami that has developed hollow powers. A feral-looking mask formed over his face that increased the pressure of the room to Naruto, like this, see? Naruto's eyes widened as his body began to feel the effects of Hachi's healing. Whoa. How do you get powers like that? Shinji laughed humorously. Not by choice, I should say. I am going to skip the boring part, since I don't really trust you, but long story short, we were forcefully given these powers. We never asked for them. Naruto shut his eyes and nodded thoughtfully. I can understand that. What you are talking about isn't that much different from me, honestly. Hiyori placed her foot on Hachi's barrier and sneered down at Naruto. And what exactly would some dopey-looking guy like you know about something like this? Can you let the barrier go now? Naruto asked Hachi politely. Thanks a lot. Your healing barrier worked really fast. You are good. Hachi complied and bowed to Naruto. My time-space regression doesn't work that fast. What amazing healing capabilities. Hiyori growled at Naruto. Hey, I was talking to you. Don't ignore me, damn it. Naruto turned towards her. Well, now that I know what the masks are, shall we continue? Just you and me, he then smirked, and you can use the mask. Hiyori looked at him in surprise, as did everyone else. She finally grinned at him evilly. You know you just signed your own death warrant, right? Hachi, put up a barrier, so that no one feels this. Yeah, Naruto said, jumping back towards his feet. He used Shunshin to reappear in middle of the battlefield. Just get back out here, so we can do this. This is what you wanted the entire time, right? Hiyori quickly did as asked, and made her way to directly in front of Naruto, drawing her Zanpakuto and pointing at him. Is this what you really want? You are going to be sorry. Just do it, and let me be the judge of that. Naruto said before feeling a rather oppressive aura set over the area. Man, that has some kick to it. He remarked as a skeletal mask with diamond markings across the brow, and a horn on the forehead formed over Hiyori's face. She pulled the mask up to smirk at him. So how do you like this? Naruto chuckled nervously. That's really strong, this is great, he said before he began laughing slowly. As time carried on, his laughter increased more and more, confusing everyone in the room. This is absolutely great. I don't think I am going to stomp a mud hole in Urahara anymore when I see him again. He introduced me to you guys. I think we are going to get along just fine. Hiyori looked at him with her black glare and brown iris eyes in confusion. Why would you thank him? I am about to kick your ass. I want to thank him because he introduced me to all of you. A bunch of people. Naruto's eyes turned orange in color, as a series of strange markings formed and expanded from his stomach across his torso, starting at a spiral on his navel. The yellow shroud completely engulfed Naruto's body, releasing energy and flickers of flame. Who are just like me. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want a next part of this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the other videos that I have created, and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.